Welcome students to the students of standard 8. Welcome you to the class. We are studying about history chapter 3 ruling the countryside. We have been studying about the different revenue settlement of the East India Company. We have seen about the permanent settlements of Bengal, Orissa and Bihar. Today we are going to see about the Mahalbari system, the Mahalbari system of revenue. What was the Mahalwari settlement, where it was implemented, who implemented in which year, and what was the result of this, that we are going to discuss in this class. So students, Mahalwari settlement, okay, started by Holt Mackenzie in 1822. So Holt Mackenzie was the Governor General of East India Company. So he was the man who devised and implemented this Mahalwari settlement. Students, this Mahalwari settlement was implemented in the northwestern province of Bengal. Okay, so it was implemented in the northwestern province of Bengal, especially the today's Uttar Pradesh. We can say this area was today's Uttar Pradesh. At that time it was called as northwestern province of Bengal. Today we call that area especially in the name of Uttar Pradesh. So this Mahalwari settlement was implemented in Uttar Pradesh, parts of this Ganga Valley, okay, beside the Ganga River. So the Ganga Valley, northwest province, Punjab and central India. These are the areas where this Mahalwari settlement was implemented. Student, we are going to see what was this system of Mahalwari settlement. Students, Mahal means a village. So Mahal was known for a village. A village was called as the Mahal. So British East India Company, especially this Holt Mackenzie, he devised this settlement system, Mahalwari system. In this system, a revenue was collected together from a village called Mahal. So students, previously we have seen that revenue was collected by the jamindars, okay, but here we are going to see about the revenue collection system. In this system, the 2 or 3 villages, the villages in the northwestern province, means in Uttar Pradesh, and in this part the villages were surveyed. Okay, the villages were surveyed and they estimated the land of the villages. So each and every villagers, their lands were estimated, but only the difference is that here the tax was not collected from individual peasants, whereas all the land of the villages together, it was estimated, and as per the estimated this land, the revenue was fixed for different villages in these areas. So students, here all the farmers, the peasants, they had to collect their revenue together, and from each village together amount was given to the East India Company. Who collected this revenue? So the village headmen or the mukhyas at that time, they were the village headmen, the head person of the village. He collected the revenue from all the villages together, and a fixed amount was given to the East India Company. Students, here one more difference we see, that the revenue was not fixed permanently. Here the revenue was not fixed, as we have seen about the permanent settlement, that revenue was fixed. So every year, all the year, they had to give a fixed amount to East India Company. There we see the jamindars, they were benefited by that settlement system, because jamindars, they collected the revenue in more from the village, from the peasants. So jamindar used to collect the more revenue, whereas a fixed amount was only given to the the East India Company. So there the East India Company was running in loss, whereas the jamindars were mostly benefited, and also the farmers also were in problem to pay the huge amount of revenue, because the rate of revenue was also very high. But in this, the Mahalwadi system, we see the fixed revenue, the revenue was not fixed, and whereas this, it was revised periodically, means every year or after a period of time the revenue was revised. It could be increased or it could be decreased. So that was the Mahalwadi system. So students, I hope you understand what was Mahalwadi system, where it was implemented, who implemented in which year, everything I hope you understood. It was implemented by the Holt Mackenzie in 1822 in the northwest province of Bengal, that is Uttar Pradesh, parts of Punjab and parts of the Ganga Valley and central India. These were the areas where the villages were surveyed by the company's official. They surveyed each and every village, and they estimated all the lands of the villages together, and here all the villages, they collected their revenue, and together an amount was given to the East India Company. Here the revenue was collected by the village headman. So that was the Mahalwadi system. Next we are going to the Rayatwadi system. Rayatwadi system, okay, is started by Thomas Munro. Thomas Munro, he started or devised this Rayatwadi system. Now students, okay, this Rayatwadi system was implemented in South Indian villages. Here we see this northwestern province of Uttar Pradesh, but this system was implemented, okay, in the South Indian villages. In the South India, where is South India? The Kerala, the Tamil Nadu, the Maharashtra, okay, the Karnataka, and these are the areas, especially the Kerala, Tamil Nadu. These are South Indian villages. Here in this South Indian villages, this Rayatwadi system was implemented. Okay, now Rayat means, what is the Rayat mean? Rayats are the peasants or the farmers. Rayat means the cultivators of the land. So peasants or the farmers were also known as Rayats. Okay, here the revenue was directly collected from the farmers or the peasants. Here there was no, okay, middlemen. Here the company's officials, they collected the revenue directly from the hands of the peasants or the farmers. So that was the Rayatwadi systems. We have seen that the East India Company, they implemented where the revenue was collected by the jamindars. Then we have seen also this revenue was collected by the bidders, okay, or we have also seen that the revenue was collected from a group of villages. And now in this system we see directly the revenue was collected from the hands of the farmers by the company officials, and then it was given to the East India Company. So that was the Rayatwadi system, the Mahalwadi system, where it was implemented. Who implemented this? I hope you understand. Now these were the different revenue settlement system of East India Company. Students, the main purpose of this revenue collection different systems were to gain the maximum profits, the income, to increase the income of the East India Company, so that they can run their the industries, their factories, as well as they can pay the salary of the soldiers, and they can also buy the cotton and silk, and for this they needed the money, and revenue was the only source of income for this East India Company. Now student, what was the impact of this revenue settlement, different revenue settlements, and what was the result of this revenue settlement. Students, this revenue settlement always had a negative impact on the farmers. The farmers, Indian farmers, were the victim of this revenue settlement because the farmers suffered the most under this revenue settlement of East India Company. Students, what were the problems that the farmers faced? The first thing that the revenue was always high for the farmers. The rate of revenue was so high for the farmers that they could not pay this revenue, and because of this not paying the revenue from time to time, they lost the lands. Especially they were the victims in the hand of the jamindars. They used to collect a high rate of revenue from the farmers, and then they used to keep the maximum with them. They used to get their profit, their share, and then rest they used to give to the East India Company. So in this, when the revenue was so high for the farmers, in this time, okay, first the revenue was high for the farmers. Second things, the jamindars or the East India Company, they did not take care of the land. Their only the profit was to gain the maximum earning, but they never gave any, okay, they gave any attention to the lands. They did not give the irrigational facilities. They did not provide the the good seeds and other implements, equipments to the farmers. So what happened during the time of the the farming, during the time of no rainfall, because there was no facility for irrigation. Therefore farmers, they mostly depended on the rain. And when there was a rain failure, when there was no proper rain, there was a crop failures, there used to be a famine. So at the time of famine, when there is no crops, these farmers found very difficult to pay the revenue. At that time, okay, they used to take the loan, they used to take the money from the money lender. So at that time, money lender, a group of people called money lender also arose, started, and from them these farmers used to take the money as a loan. At the time of wedding and other ceremonies also, which was very the social customs like marriage and other social ceremonies or customs, these farmers used to borrow the money from these money lenders. And because of borrowing this money, they had to mortgage their lands. They have to give the lands to the money lenders, and in return they used to take the money from the money lenders, because these farmers considered this land as their mother. So they never wanted to sell their lands, whereas they gave this land to the money lender as a mortgage, okay, as a security, and in return they took the money. But it was very difficult for the farmers to repay the money to the money lenders. So in this case, most of the farmers, when they were not able to give the money back to the money lenders, they became a debtor, and finally they lost their lands. They became the landless, and all the lands went to the money lenders. And in that process, there was a landowners, landlords were also started, who collected all the lands and from the farmers. So this was the situation, okay, under this revenue collection system during the British rule. In all the ways, the farmers were mostly tortured, and most of the Indian farmers, they became landless because they lost their lands in the hands of the money lender. They became a debtor, and they could not pay the debt back. They could not pay the money to the money lenders. they lose their lands. So that was the impact of the revenue settlements on the farmers. In these revenue settlements, most of the jamindars, the money lenders, the landlords, they were benefited, whereas the farmers, they were mostly tortured, and they became the landless. So students, I hope you understood these are the different revenue settlements under the British East India Company. Next in the class, we are going to see in the final, we are going to see the indigo cultivation. The indigo cultivation under the East India Company. Now the British East India Company compelled the farmers to cultivate the indigo instead of the food crops. Now they were compelled, they were forced to cultivate the indigo, a blue color dye, for East India Company. So that was also an oppressive situation, a torture for the farmers of India. So that we are going to discuss finally the indigo cultivation, okay, and indigo rebellion. Till then, that's all for today. Thank you.